And what's really important in a marriage is to work out what pleases your husband or wife. Let me tell you, many of you would know that my dear wife Mandy does not like olives. Okay? She does not like olives.
Such a good thing.
Why would
Team JL.
And this is actually really good for me because it means I get more olives, which is quite cool. But because I know that my wife does not like olives, if I'm buying something special for her, it doesn't have olives in it.
Olives. Mandy, these stuff's olives.
These are all, oh no, olive.
Stuff olive with olive.
No, I don't do that. I know olive.
It's like Inception.
It's hard to believe, but I don't do that because I love my wife.
Oh, you olive your life.
Wait, what?
No, it's not olive. I'd be a single man. She likes a cup of tea in the morning. So most mornings. Oh, I like coffee, man.
I hate drinking coffee.
So in the mornings, I get up and I make her a cup of tea while I'm making my coffee.
Oh, that's a bit cute.
It's actually just sensible because that's.
It's just a matter of. That's so sensible.
Now put it the other way. You know, if someone is seeking your attention, then wouldn't it be wise for them to work out what you like, so that they could get your attention, romantically or otherwise? Now, what I'm saying is, what Paul says is, find out what pleases the Lord and then do it. Okay, it just makes sense. You don't say, God hates sexual immorality, so I'm going to go out and do that.
Sexual immorality.
I'm trying not to be vulgar. God says, I don't like greed, so you don't go, oh man, how do I get the most stuff? What pleases God? And then do that. Have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. Let me tell you, this means in your life, not someone else's. It's not saying you go around and dig up the dirt on everyone else. Let me tell you, I'm going to expose Nick's deeds. And then I'm going to go to you and don't worry, I'll get to you soon enough. It's not talking about that. Let's come with me and look at verse 12. Verse 12 and verse 13. For it is shameful to even to mention what the disobedient do in secret, but everything exposed by the light becomes visible, for it is light that makes everything visible. Let me tell you what kills Christians. Secrets. Death helps. No, I'm talking about what kills Christians in their Christian life. Secrets. Secrets are terrible because your secret needs to remain hidden, and you hide it, you cover it, and you don't want anyone to know about it. But when your secret is revealed,
That's the worst part.
that hurts. I'm telling you, that hurts. But
Deep.
nowhere near as bad as the ongoing hiding of the secret. Of your friends thinking that you're doing okay, but you're not really. Depression is like this, but that's not what Paul's got in mind. Sexual sin, greed, theft. How many of you guys download stuff? Like songs and like illegal stuff. So you go yeah, sorry. We'll engage in more conversation But downloading music without paying for it, well, that's illegal. But if you want to keep that secret, you're never going to work out and talk to someone about how you can deal with that. I mean, it's obvious you go and delete stuff. But then how do you take steps to make sure you don't do it again? How do you take steps to make sure that you don't keep doing things that are wrong? You know, pornography, again, same thing. You go, okay, I'll delete everything on my hard drive. Well, how do I make sure that I'm not going to go back to those websites, whatever they are? How do I make sure that I'm going to keep my mind pure? If you keep it secret, it's going to haunt you. But I'm not saying you jump up there and say, hey guys, I wasn't going to say it. But if you tell people and have people pray for you and keep you accountable, that's a step towards healing, a step towards health and godliness. And that's what Paul says. And Paul says that's why it is said, although we don't know where it was said, wake up, O sleeper, rise from the dead, and Christ will shine in you. You see, you need to live a life that's holy. You need to live a life that's godly. What is it that pleases the Lord? Not what has been mentioned. Idolatry, greed, sexual immorality, loose talk or foolish talk, obscenity. We need to be careful about the way we talk to each other, the way we talk about each other. If someone walked in the middle of our conversation, had no context, no idea that we knew each other, that we were friends or whatever, what impression would they get from our speech? Now, most of us are good mates, and so sometimes we think we get away with stuff. We say things that are maybe a little bit mean, but Johnny knows what I'm saying. Johnny knows me. And maybe Johnny goes, man, that cut. But I'm not going to show. Okay? Sorry about that. I thought. You know, that's we've got to be careful of that. We've got to be careful. And so Paul says, be very careful then how you live, not as unwise but as wise, making the most of every opportunity. Why? Because days are evil. You know, we live in an evil time. Our world, you know, we want to say, oh, our world's everyone's good, everyone's nice, everyone's happy, you know. No, actually, everyone's wicked. Everyone's evil. Everyone is trying to live for me. Do what I want to do and not listen to God. And the result of that, the days of evil. And so we, as Christians, need to encourage one another in godly living. Look at what he says towards the end of that passage. Do not get drunk on wine, which leads to debauchery. I've heard way too many stories of that, just quietly. All my life I've heard of that. Rather be filled with the Spirit. Speak to one another with psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs. Sing and make music in your heart to the Lord, always giving thanks to God the Father for everything in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ.